you had second question. Do you remember what it is, or shall I ask it for you?
I think it was about what HTTPS is important for SEO.
Okay.
That was the second one, or was that the last one?
Yeah, that's a good one. So if you pay close attention, and actually lately, even if you don't pay close attention, if you visit a web page, you'll notice that most websites run, and it says before the URL for the web says, it says HTTPS, or you might see a little like lock appear on a website. So let me just show my website again. So we're using a Firefox browser here, and see that little lock here? And the website starts with HTTPS. Now, some websites just run off HTTP. This is the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which is how the web browser knows that you're looking at a web page. But what we want for almost all of our websites is to see the HTTPS. This means you have set up what's called an SSL certificate on your browser that encrypts data from your browser to the web, from the browser to the server that holds the website and back. So for instance, if I submit a search on my website, it sends the word no follow link to my server, which has WordPress, and then returns this. There are ways for someone to intercept that signal. And because I'm running HTTPS, that signal is encoded in a way where if someone were to intercept it, they wouldn't be able to read it. This is very, very important when you have logins and logouts, where if you submit a password between your browser and the web server, if it's not occurring over HTTPS, theoretically someone can intercept that and read your password. Therefore, they'd have your password and could log in. So most websites today should be running off of an SSL certificate and should therefore be seeable through HTTPS. I bet you most of your websites already do this. In fact, I'd even suggest most web hosts provide a free SSL certificate for almost every website. I've seen some websites that are old and haven't been maintained that are running off of HTTP, but they need to be upgraded. So it's not only a security issue, but as Lavanya asked, it is an SEO issue as well. And in that Google right now is first, when they first view a website, they always try to view the HTTPS version of your page. So they assume that you've set this up, and they really want you to do it. They have made it part of their algorithm for ranking. And in fact, recently they released a new tool in Google Search Console that is the page experience report. I don't know if any of you have got a chance to look in Google Search Console lately, but in the page experience report, the first thing it says is your website run over HTTPS? Because they really want it to happen. So you should be running every website off of HTTPS by installing an SSL certificate. If you don't have one, talk to your developer or your web host and see if they can issue you an SSL certificate, because you need it for security. God forbid someone be able to hack your website because you're trying to log in without an HTTPS, or even worse, taking a payment or sending a credit card payment over the internet without HTTPS, boy, that's really risky. So make sure you set it up. But it is an SEO factor as well, so do it for that. A couple of important points. We've talked about how it's very, very important when you set up, you change even a particular letter or character in your URL, you always set up a 301 redirect from the old URL to the new URL. We are literally, when we set up an SSL certificate on a website and changing everything from HTTP to HTTPS, we are literally changing every URL on our website. So make sure you're using a 301 redirect to do that. So Google knows, hey, the website is no longer on the HTTP, it is now on the HTTPS. How do we check that? I like this website called Redirect Detective. It's really easy. I can go in and I can type in any URL. I'm doing Curious Ants, no triple W and no S. And this shows me the steps it takes to pass through all the redirects and then the final destination. So you see what happens is, it might be hard to read on the screen. I asked for HTTP no triple W. It automatically uses a 301 permanent redirect to go to HTTPS. And then it uses another 301 redirect to get to HTTPS triple W. That's the final destination. This should be able to work. What's that?
I thought of the movie when you said that.
This should work on almost every URL you use. And so what I would do is check to make sure that your SSL certificate is set up so you have a 301 redirect. That's important because most systems by default will use a 302 redirect. The 302 redirect doesn't affect users' ability to get to your page. People will still get to the right page. Problem is Google will interpret a 301 different than a 302. A 302, Google says, oh, this is only temporary, so I'm going to hold on to the old URL because you're probably going to come back to it. But that's not what we want. We want to tell Google we are forever and permanently moving to this new location, so we want to use a 301 redirect. So when you set up an SSL certificate to render your site on HTTPS, please make sure that every URL uses a 301 redirect to get to the HTTPS version of that URL. How does that answer your question?
Yes, that answers my question.
Okay, good.